Jayo Radha Madhava Punjabi Hari Punjabi Hari Gopi Jana Bala Giri Onatha Gopi Jana Devaradhari Sodhanandana Brajanandana Yashodanandana Brajanandana Yamunatiravanachari Yamunatiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Punjabi Hari Jaya Radha Madhava Punjabi Hari Gopi Janamalava Girikonatha Gopi Janamalava Devaradhari Yashodanandana Brajanandana Yashodanandana Brajanandana Yamunatiravanachari Krishna Bhakaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Nami Namo Krishnaya Krishna Premaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Nami Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prakarine Nirvitesha Pinyavadi Rakatare Sakarine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prakarine Nirvitesha Pinyavadi Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrindam Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrindam Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Narayanam Namaskritya.
Narayanam Namaskritya.
Naram Jaiva Narottamam.
Naram Jaiva Narottamam.
Devim Saraswatyam Vyasam.
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam.
Tito Jaya Mudiraya.
Tato Jaya Mudiraya.
Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 14, text number 38. It's not on the board?
Yes.
38?
38.
I'll do a couple of words. We'll do this because it's a long, the third one's a long one. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it right or not. Yad Bahu,
Bahu.
Dandabudayanu Jivino.
Dandabudayanu Jivino.
Yeah, Dandabudayanu Jivino.
Dandabudayani Jivino.
Yadu Prabhira.
Yadu Prabhira.
Yakotabaya Muhu.
Akutabhaya Muhu.
He Akutabaya Muhu.
Akutabhaya Muhu.
Adikramanti.
Adikramanti.
Angribir.
Angribir.
Abritambalat.
Abritambalat.
I'm sorry. Ahritambalat.
Ahritambalat.
Shabam.
Shabam.
Sudharmam.
Sudharmam.
Surasatamochitam.
Surasatamochitam.
Yad Bahu Dandabiyadayanu Jivino.
Yad Bahu Dandabudayanu Jivino.
Yadu Prabhira Yakutobaya Muhu.
Adu Prabhira Yakutobaya Muhu.
Adikramanti Agribir Aditambalat.
Adikramanti Agribir Aritambalat.
Sabam Sudharmam Surasati Mochitam.
Sabam Sudharmam Surasatamochitam.
I'm going to let you try to chant it properly one time for everybody, because your chanting is the best, because I don't know, it's just, I guess you're trained up in that language a little bit better, but I know I'm messing it up. Maybe you could lead one time and just chant the verse properly, and then everyone can go from there. So.
By your mercy and empowerment, Prabhu, I
Okay,
also don't
please,
know.
give it a try.
Yad Bahu Dandabhyudayanu Jivino.
Yad Bahu Dandabhyudayanu Jivino.
Yadu Pravira Yakutobhaya Muhu.
Yadu Prabhira Yakutobhaya Muhu.
Adikramanti Angribhir Aritambalat.
Adikramanti Agribir Aritambalat.
Sabham Sudharmam Surasatamochitam.
Sabham Sudharmam Surasatamochitam. Yad Bahu Dandabudayanu Jivino.
Yad Bahu Dandabudayanu Jivino.
Yadu Pravira hi Akutabhaya Muhu.
Yadu Pravira Akutabhaya Muhu.
Adhikramanti Agribhir Aritambalat.
Adhikramanti Agribhir Aritambalat.
Sabham Sudharmam Surasatamochitam.
Sabham Sudharmam Surasatamochitam.
Bahu Dandabhyudayanu Jivino.
Yad Bahu Dandabhyudayanu Jivino.
Yadu Prabhira Yakutobhaya Muhu.
Yadu Pravira hi Akutabhaya Muhu.
Adikramantyangarbhir Aritambalat.
Adhikramanti Agribhir Aritambalat.
Sabham Sudharmam Surasatamochitam.
Sabham Sudharmam Surasatamochitam.
Anyone else? Word for word. Yad Hu. Bahudanda.
Bahudanda.
Arms. Abhyudaya, influenced by Anujivana, always living. Yadu, the members of the Yadu dynasty. Pavira, great heroes. He Akutobaya, fearless in every respect. Muhu, constantly. Adikramanti, transversing. Angrivi, by foot. Ahitam, brought about. Balat, by force. Sabjam, assembly house. Sudharma, Surushattama, the best among the demigods. Uchitam, deserving. Translation, please repeat. The great heroes of the Yadu dynasty, being protected by the arms of Lord Sri Krishna, always remain fearless in every respect. And therefore their feet trample over the Sudharma assembly house, which the best demigods deserved, but which was taken away from them. The great heroes of the Yadu dynasty, being protected by the arms of Lord Sri Krishna, always remain fearless in every respect. And therefore their feet trample over the Sudharma assembly house, which the best demigods deserved, but which was taken away from them. Report by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Those who are directly servitors of the Lord are protected by the Lord from all fearfulness. And they also enjoy the best of things, even if they are forcibly accumulated. If they have to take them. The Lord is equal in behavior to all living beings, but He is partial to those pure devotees, being very affectionate toward them. The city of Dwarka was flourishing, being enriched with the best of things in the material world. The state assembly house is constructed according to the dignity of the particular state. In the heavenly planets, the state assembly house is called Sudharma. In the heavenly planet, the state assembly house called Sudharma was deserving of the dignity of the best of the demigods. Such an assembly house is never meant for any state on the globe, because a human being on earth is unable to construct it. However, far a particular state may be materially advanced. But during the time of Lord Krishna's presence on earth, the members of the Yadu family forcibly brought the celestial house to earth and placed it at Dwarka. They were able to use such force because they were certain of the indulgence and protection of the Supreme Lord, Sri Krishna. In other words, the Lord is provided with the best things in the universe by His pure devotees. The Lord Krishna was provided with all kinds of comforts and facilities available within the universe by the members of the Yadu dynasty. And in return, such servitors of the Lord were protected and fearless. A forgetful, conditioned soul is fearful, but a liberated soul is never fearful. Just as a small child completely dependent on the mercy of his father is never fearful of anyone. Fearfulness is a sort of illusion for the living being when he is in slumber and forgetting his eternal relationship with the Lord. Since the living being is never to die by his constitution, as stated in the Bhagavad Gita 2:20, then what is the cause of fearfulness? A person may be fearful of a tiger in a dream, but another man who is awake by his side sees no tiger there. The tiger is a myth for both of them, namely the person dreaming and the person awake, because actually there is no tiger, but the man forgetful of his awakened life is fearful, whereas the man who has not forgotten his position is not at all fearful. Thus the members of the Yadu dynasty were fully awake in their service to the Lord, and therefore there was no tiger for them to be afraid of at any time. Even if there was a real tiger, the Lord was there to protect them. That's So immediately in hearing this verse and purport came to mind to me when we were in Dallas, and it was a Sunday feast lecture. Very, very, very nice day. Everything was as perfect can be. The temple room was very nicely decorated. Every room was very happy. And Srila Prabhupada was giving the Sunday feast lecture. So you can imagine, everybody was in top mood, transcendental happiness was abounding everywhere. You saw no dull-headed, no morose. You saw everybody pure, clean, simple, fresh, happy, very comfortably seated. Srila Prabhupada came. And so he gave a nice lecture. I can't remember much about the lecture, but I remember afterwards the questions. And there were several questions, but one I remember in particular in reference to this verse was there was a nice young boy there, very respectful, perfect kind of guest. And the temple room was perfectly quiet. You could hear a pin drop. And the boy said, "You're always with God. What is it like to be with God?" Just like that, just perfect the way he asked it, So everybody no one said a word, everybody just sitting quiet. And Mr. Prabhupada said, "I'm simply unafraid." Abhaya, Charanavinda. Unafraid. And then when he said that, wow, what a perfect answer. Because if you know Krishna, if you're with Krishna, like the boy asked, you're with God, you're seeing Krishna at every second. What are you going to be afraid of? Nothing can defeat Krishna. Perfect answer, huh? It proves beyond a shadow of a doubt. Who's ever given that answer before? Who's ever asked the question? Who's ever given that answer? You've never heard that answer question before. Srila Prabhupada was seeing Krishna always, at every moment. One time they asked Srila Prabhupada, did you ever, was there a time when you weren't Krishna conscious? Prabhupada said, I have never forgotten, there's never a moment when I didn't remember Krishna. Never was there a moment when Srila Prabhupada forgot Krishna. So this consciousness, awareness, is what we have to strive to attain. In a perfect state of consciousness, totally dependent on the mercy of the Lord, no fear. No fear. Why would you be afraid? Number one, you're not the body, you're spirit soul. Spirit soul cannot be harmed. We know that, right? It says that in the Bhagavad Gita, the soul can never be harmed. It can be cut, can't be burnt, can't be withered. Nothing can happen to the soul. The soul is eternal. Prabhupada points this out in reference to the Christians, how they preach burning in hell. The soul can't be destroyed. How can you be destroyed in hell? It's a misconception they have. A horrible misconception, full of fear, wrought with anxiety. They're going to be burned up forever. Still they sin. So this fearlessness, this free from fear, the Prabhupada's name, abide, means without fear, fearless. We saw this when Srila Prabhupada preached. He never had a problem preaching in any circumstance to anyone, anytime, anywhere. He never had a moment where, Prabhupada's answer wasn't totally perfect. He never became overwhelmed with the moment, as they said. Every second, every moment, Prabhupada was totally fixed. Why? Because Krishna is the Supreme Personality of the Godhead. And Prabhupada's seeing Krishna every second. It's proof positive. If you observe Srila Prabhupada, you see what he's done, you see his books, you see his teachings, his persona, everything about him, you hear people talk about him, describe him, you reach a point where you realize Prabhupada's always seeing God at every second. The implications of that are immense. Because that means if we take shelter of such a pure devotee and we totally commit ourselves, sell out, just like a slave, just totally give everything to Srila Prabhupada, we also become fearless. What can harm us? Prabhupada will protect us. But our mind now has a hard time with that. The mind is always like, no, there's so many reasons why. Right? That's too foolish. I have to do my own thing. My intelligence is blah, 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 right? Mm-hmm. You're blindly following. You're a fanatic. You're a robot, whatever. Right? I'm Prabhupada's robot. Mm-hmm. Why? Because I know without a shadow of a doubt, see Prabhupada seeing Krishna every moment. This is what is required. One has to have implicit faith in the spiritual master and in Krishna. Implicit faith. What's that mean? Full, totally, without reservation. If I give my life to Srila Prabhupada, to Krishna, I will be successful. Prabhupada says it. Total surrender. So, I know it's hard because the mind always comes up with some other option, It's like, what if, And the truth is, it's hard to surrender the mind and the heart in pure devotional service because we have such a strong attachment and ego, and we're full of lusty desires within our heart. So strong that even you can become almost a great pure devotee and you can still fall down if you don't stay focused. If you let those desires grow, if you let those desires come up again, then you come up again like it says, like you burned it, like when people perform austerities and atonement, it's like burning the bamboo down, but the bamboo roots are still there. So as soon as the fire goes, you watch, back up again, right? Mm. It's the same way within our heart. We have these desire seeds. They've been there for a very long time. We have a great deal of attachment to something we're very familiar with. What are we very familiar with? We're very familiar with the interaction of on the mundane plane, sex desire. That's what we're familiar with. The animals are familiar with it. The birds are familiar with it. Everything, human being, everyone's familiar with it. The demigods are familiar with it. Everybody here. And then Prabhupada comes and says, give it up! And it's like, oh, no, we can't do that. No, we can't give that up. That's like the sacred cow, that's our life and soul, How can we give up that special inspiration that keeps me alive and thriving and gets me up in the morning and makes me go to work, makes me want to be a great poet, or that's my inspiration. How can you tell me? When I look at the face of the opposite sex, my mind is enlivened. It is. That's how it works. The great poets, they write poetry, beautiful poetry, and it's all about some mundane sex life. It gets deep. It's not simply sex life. It's all the paraphernalia, the subtleties, the ego-driven control, God-like nature of the enjoyment. Mm-hmm. Bottom line is, we want to be God. It manifests itself in the Adam and Eve thing, right? What's the Adam and Eve thing? Everybody gets it all mixed up because they think it's like an actual thing. It's not. It's an analogy. Very good one. Adam and Eve, man, woman, are together in paradise. But you get kicked out because you have a desire which is incompatible. It's apple, special apple. No such freaking apple. But the point being is that it's identified, it's personified as an apple, and then there's a snake there. Eat it, eat it, eat it. You'll love it. Try the apple. What's wrong with you? Eve's like, eat it, eat it. And Adam's, I don't want to. Eat it, please eat it. Oh, one bite. Oh, hell. Down. Out. Out. Damn it, why'd I take a bite of it? People get so caught up. So Adam's out there. And they don't get it. They don't get the whole point of the whole analogy. They get so caught up in Adam's descendants that they don't get the point of it. What is the point? The point is very succinct. It's very real. What is the point? In the spiritual world, there is a desire which doesn't work. It's not compatible there. What is that desire? To be Krishna. We want to be Krishna. So how is it personified? Sex life. Only in that moment of sex can we think, I am God. That's what Ravana thought. That's what Hiranyakashipu thought. That is what Donald Trump thinks. That is what, Al Gore. That is what, Bill Clinton. That is what, Napoleon Bonaparte. That's what Adolf Hitler. That's what every conditioned soul thinks the same thing. The only one who's not is Prabhupada. Yes! The point is, they're all fools, rascals, cheaters, dogs, slime balls. They have no qualification. They grovel over sex. Like a dog, like an ass. The only one who doesn't is a pure devotee. Huh? But yeah, we're enamored with them. We think, oh, they're so great. They have this and they have that. They have this and they have that. No, you fool. They throw a bone down, they'll chase it. Robin gave the example of the jackal. That there was some paint thrown on the jackal, right? And so all the animals saw this jackal all, purple painted. And they went, oh, he must be God, the king, royal. And they put him on the throne, And they're all worshiping the jackal. But then, somebody threw an old shoe. And the jackal had to go for the shoe, So it's like all these fools and rascals and cheaters and liars. They all say, we're in control. But they all are chasing the same stupid material desire which will destroy them. Sex desire. So who is the real hero? Huh? Only Srila Prabhupada has taught us the first soul you ever met and will ever meet that is free from mundane sex attachment. You may glorify this painter or this poet or this musician or this great philosopher or scholar, but they all have one thing in common. They're all addicted to sex life. Subtle or gross, it's all the same. Wet stool, dry stool, it's all stool. The only distinctive feature that we have shown that is unique to this in Hare Krishna movement is that we have a pure devotee example. One who is beyond the modes of material nature. Probably says right in Bhagavad Gita. How do you do it? Engage in pure devotional service. Right? What's that verse? Mahima Vansa Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana Manas. What's the one where you rise above the modes of material nature, come to the level of Brahman? Brahma Bhuyaya. What's the first part of it?
Brahma Bhuta Prasannatmana Sochati Na Kanchati Sama Sarveshu Bhuteshu Madbhaktim Lavate Param.
That's a different one, but that's what I'm talking about. What's the translation?
The one who is thus transcendently situated rises above the modes of material nature and becomes fully joyful. And he does not lament or hanker for anything. In this state, he can attain pure devotional service unto me. But I'm not
giving
you the exact word for word. I'm just paraphrasing.
The point being is that Bhagavad Gita, there's several verses there. One who engages in pure devotional service. There are so many of them, but there's one about Bhakti Yogena Sevate Sagunan Samati Jaitan Brahma Bhuyayika. What's that one?
Maya Chavya Bicharena.
Huh? What's the first line?
Maya.
I can never remember, but it says Maima.
Mamcha Vyabicharena.
Huh? Anyway.
Mamcha Vyabicharena.
Mamcha Yogya Vicharena Bhakti Yogena Sevate Sagunan Samati Jaitan Brahma Bhuyayika. One who engages in pure devotional service, who does not fall down under any circumstances, at once transcends the modes of material nature and comes to the level of Brahman. So why is it that we have faith that we can do this? Because we can. Because Srila Prabhupada told us we can. How do you do it? Engage in pure devotional service. Now when we come to the temple and we're chanting in front of Krishna, what is the actual process here that we're doing? What is actually going on when we're doing this? We are standing in front of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna's here. Where's there? You know what? I know it. It's the elephant in the room, the unspoken truth. What is it? Krishna is actually here on the altar in the form of Shishi, Radharadhakanta, Shishi, Gaurnika. They're here. When we do our thing to Srila Prabhupada's actually here. Are we here? That's the question. That's the question. Where are we? Right? So, Krishna's here, and he's playing his flute, and he's being served by his devotees, and he's wanting us to come to the level of pure devotion where we're fearless, we're free. We're no more birth, no more death. What's holding us back? Attachment, desire. Something is there. It's a desire within the heart. So these desires, they're hard to get rid of. They don't just go away. They kind of have to fructify, and then you have to deal with them. But in Bhakti path, what they do is they kind of like sublimate, and they just kind of fade away. Right? And it's the same with the bad karma. Right? You got some bad karma. You come in and tell me you stumped your toe, and somebody, I stumped my toe. Oh no, Prabhu, you just got hit by a Mack truck. But in Bhakti Yoga, you just stumped your toe. That's a fact. Prabhupada said, your sin is to be hanged, and you get a pinprick. So what happens? Because we've come into contact with Srila Prabhupada, and we have this system, this methodology that we practice. This is Bhakti Yoga. One who engages, you rise above, no longer any fear, no longer any burden, no longer death. But we have to embrace it. One who engages in pure devotional services does not fall down under any circumstances. What's that? Huh? That means there's a little bit of something going on there no one knows about but me. It's pulling me. And I got to do it because, no! You don't. No. Prabhu, help me, save me. Prabhu, give me your shelter. Prabhu, my heart, I need you to talk to me. Tell me about Krishna. Help me remember Krishna. You know, whatever. You don't go with it. That's bhakti. That's why Prabhupada said we always stay in association with devotees. If we're hanging out by ourselves, always alone, then Maya can always come. Maya can cheat us. Maya can always slip in if you're not with association. So why do we always stay in association? It's because we remind each other that our goal is the same. What is the goal? We want to become pure devotees. You think it's impossible? No, it's very possible, it's very practical, and it happens every day in this movement. There are people who are actually attaining love of Krishna. What are the symptoms? One is always talking about Krishna. You never want to do anything else but talk about Krishna. You always want to remember Krishna. 24 hours a day, Prabhupada said. Always remembering Krishna. Always talking about Krishna. Always finding a way to engage in devotional service 24 hours a day. And don't fall down. We don't quit. We don't stop. And it's easy, in a sense, when you get old. It's harder when you're younger. But if you hear properly from the proper source, then you can actually begin to understand that when you come to the temple, you should feel ecstasy. Not this, oh, I gotta go through the motion. I gotta do artik. I gotta chant. No, it's dull. That's dull. That's Maya. That's the modes of material nature. That's ignorance. Wipe it on our head. It hits us all. It hits everybody. We don't listen to that, though. What do we think? Krishna's here. Prabhupada's here. I'm going to go back home, back to Godhead, because I'm going to enthusiastically engage in this process of Bhakti Yoga. I chant my 16 rounds. I follow the 4 regulatory principles. I enthusiastically engage in chanting and dancing and taking prasadam. It's not a secret. It's not like some foreign process that we just, have to figure out now. No, it's here. It's clear. But the point being is, what we're doing is, we don't really get it. We don't really believe that. Isn't it? I mean, if you knew Krishna's here, standing on the altar, how are you going to act? Are you going to do the HG Dvibhuja? You're going to be rolling in ecstasy. Your hair is standing on the end. You won't be able to do Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. You won't be able to do anything but utter Krishna's name. Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. You're so beautiful, Krishna. Every time I see you, I see something new. I see something different. Your smile is so attractive. Lord, please don't ever let me forget you. How have I fallen away from you? One moment, it's like how many years I'm missing you. That's Krishna consciousness. But we just go through the motions and we think like, yeah, I joined, I'm one of them. I'm a Hare Krishna, I'm initiated. I'm sticking it out, I ain't going nowhere else. But Prabhu, the truth is, we have to take it up a notch sometimes. We can't be afraid someone's going to like in the early days they'd stand in the corner and make fun of the people who were too enthusiastic or something, There were some people told me they used to do that. They were embarrassed about it, but they said in the early days before they would stand up and make fun of people who were so enthusiastic, Nowadays, that was a bad example, but the point being is there are people who did like that, who think that Krishna consciousness is for children. It's silly. It's not really, it's not at all. It's a real spiritual, it's a boon beyond our wildest dreams. It's the greatest of all gifts. It gives us just such a rare opportunity as compared to meet a pure devotee and to come into association of pure devotee and to actually get the mercy of the pure devotee is compared to like an ocean. There's a turtle. Y'all heard this before? And he comes up once every 10,000 years. This tortoise, he surfaces once in 10,000 years, right? So on the ocean, there's one board floating with a hole in it. So if perchance that once in 10,000 years when that tortoise came up, if his head happened to go through the hole in that wood, that's how rare it is to come into contact with a pure devotee. It's just not practical. It's not possible. You have a better chance of winning the lottery. Much better chance than to come into contact with a pure devotee. So should we become very enthusiastic? Yes. Should we give up all sorts of social customs just like the wives of the Brahmins, when Krishna came, did they say, no, we can't leave our husbands and go over? But if somebody came and said, there's a cowherd boy out here and he wants you to bring him prasad, I'm cooking for my husband right now, I'm doing whatever. It's like they were serious about, Krishna. So when Krishna came, the cowherd, the wives of the Brahmins, they didn't hesitate. The Brahmins, they didn't, we're busy. So later on they realized, oh my God. Social convention kept me from getting the chance to serve the Lord purely. Social convention. Social convention usually brings us to the point where we're like, I'm not going to step out of my comfort zone. I'm not going to really take this Krishna consciousness literally, like become ecstatic. Like when you do kirtan, it's like, I'm going to dance and everything, but I'm not going to really, absorb myself in Lord Chaitanya's mood, stand on the bank of, the Ganga with Lord Chaitanya swaying and dancing. It's like that's the mood of Vrindavan. That's the mood of the spiritual world. It's a mood of Prabhupada used to say every day is a festival. Every day is a festival. There are days when it's hard. Krishna consciousness may be hard. But I found one thing, is if you chant Hare Krishna, and you sincerely chant around, at the end of your mantras, you're thinking, wow, how fortunate I am to have heard the holy name. I heard the holy name. What am I hearing? My heart is becoming purified. I'm actually becoming attracted to Krishna. I'm actually becoming a servant of the servant. I actually have a chance to get out of the cycle of birth and death. Otherwise, this material world is so hellish. It's so hellish. It's so scary. Many people here have never seen real misery. We're born in a culture where we don't really know misery. You don't know what misery is. You've never seen real suffering of this material world. It's so hellish. I've seen things that would make you just put your arms around me and say, oh, Prabhu, I'm so sorry. And I've seen this hellish suffering beyond your comprehension. And it happens in this age of Kali. It gets worse. We don't know what suffering is. We're born generally in a decent house, good family, good food, all that stuff. We don't know, you know. Or people kill you just because of the color of your skin. People kill you just because you're not their religion. They kill you. Your family, your kids, everybody, just kill them all. You can't worship Krishna. You can't worship God. You can't do anything. There's places like that all over the planet. And we're complaining that, you know, we don't have the proper tread on our shoe or something, you know. We're complaining that you know, it's too warm. I'm telling you, I've seen people die. I've seen people get killed because they're a different color. Beat to death for no reason except different color skin. It's Kali Yuga, hellish beyond hellish. Kali Yuga intensifies so much we have no clue, because we can't really see what Dwapara Yuga was like. Dwapara Yuga was so much nicer. Everybody was happy, basically, Prabhupada said. People were very happy. So Kali Yuga's only been here for 5,000 years. And already it's really, really bad. But we don't really know how much bad it is because we don't remember what good was. All we've seen is bad. So, but real bad. So, we have to understand that if we become sincerely focused every day to read and hear and develop new, ever fresh body of knowledge and realizations to give us more and more convictions, eventually we reach a point where we are, just like Srila Prabhupada, we are fearless. Why? Because you know nothing can hurt you. Why? Because Krishna, like the cowherd boys, when Nagasura was there, even if he beats all us, he can't eat Krishna. Right? They weren't afraid. It's Krishna. We used to go in the ghetto at night in New Orleans, distributing Prabhupada's books. I was like, we're crazy. What are we doing? But he didn't. Book distribution. In the projects. These ladies open up, what are you doing here, boy? Get out of here. You know where you are? Krishna will protect us, ma'am. Give us a quarter. And Krishna protected us. Krishna will protect his devotee. It's a fact. And sometimes Prabhupada points out that people the demons sometimes think Krishna is partial to devotees, to the demigods. And Krishna said, no, actually, I'm partial to the mode of goodness. Krishna said, that's the way he explained it. No, because they're in the mode of goodness, then I am Vishnu and I act under the mode of goodness. So therefore, I'm always protecting the demigods. So devotees are always protected by Krishna. Prabhupada knew he was protected by Krishna. Else, how could he get on a boat and come to America with that whole advanced stage. Everyone thought he was crazy. How could he do that? Because he knew. He got off the boat. He knew. He already had firm faith. He wasn't like forming his Krishna consciousness. He wasn't beginning to see how this would. He already knew how it would unfold. He had complete faith and knowledge. Why? Because he's seeing Krishna at every moment. We also have to be like that. Super soul is in our heart. When something happens, we have to understand it's not just happening by chance. Super soul is allowing that to happen. Super soul is directing that to happen. These things that are happening to us, super soul is directing them. We're hearing things. Why? Because the super soul knows we need to hear them. We are personally under the control of Krishna. It's a very nice situation to be in, actually. It's very safe. No, not very much danger. You realize how fortunate we are, how you see the devotees, how peaceful their life is, how many wonderful things happen to them, and you think, oh, no, it goes beyond statistics. It's because Krishna is protecting us. So we have to really know it. We have to be convinced, the 100%, that just like Jogendra. Where's Jogendra today? He's going off to Alexandria to do a program in someone's house. You know how far Alexandria, Louisiana is? It's a long way.
Like 5 hours.
5-hour drive to do a house program. I'm like, that's like thinking, can we, do FaceTime or something? That's like, but Yogendra's like, doesn't think about it. Yeah, they want me to come. It's preaching. I want to preach. So he wants to preach. He wants to get the nectar. He's eager to get the nectar, and he will get the nectar. If we step out of our comfort zone, if we do something a little bit that we're not comfortable with, but we know that would please Krishna and Srila Prabhupada, Krishna will reciprocate to us. We will get that nectar for which we're always anxious. It will manifest within our hearts. It will be a type of happiness that makes you glad that everything you've done, you're glad of it. You have no regrets. You looking for that moment? Are you looking for that moment when you feel so ecstatically blissful that you're on your hands and knees, tears are flowing from your eyes, and you're saying, thank you, Krishna. Thank you. Thank you for giving me a material body. Thank you for letting me go through birth and death. Thank you for letting me be a fool. Thank you for all the things I've been through to come to this moment. To this moment. That moment when the soul reawakens and we realize Krishna's God. He's not different than his name. Prabhupada's here in the temple room when we're chanting and offering arti. If we're doing it with love, Prabhupada's taking that love and he's reciprocating that love. When we're dressing the deities and we're taking care of the deities, there comes a time where Krishna's going to, pat you on your head one day or something. Whatever Krishna chooses to do. He may choose to eat the offering. It happens. It happens. You may go and the offering may be gone. What happened? Krishna ate it. He liked it. You did a good job. It happens. Why can't it happen? Huh? So, what was it? Sakshi Gopal? Mm-hmm. He walked. And the Brahmin boy said, I need you to be a witness. He said, well, I can't talk. I can't just go talk. He said, if you can walk, you can talk. I think I'm backwards like that. You can talk, you can walk. That's faith. That's knowledge. That's awareness. It's not like faith. Faith means you believe, you change it. Knowledge, awareness. Krishna is the supreme absolute truth. And all of these things, all this fearlessness we're talking about, this can be part of to where we do things which are a little bit out of our comfort zone, but we're doing it because we know Krishna's got our back. Krishna's protecting us. Why? Because Krishna wants us to spread this movement. He will help us. He will give us strength. He will give us knowledge. He will give us facility. He will keep us going. Prabhupada's body was finished materially. He had no liver. But yet he was living and spreading Krishna consciousness. Srila Jayapataka Maharaj, his body, he should have never been able to physically do what he's done. Yet he's still initiating and spreading Krishna consciousness. Why? Because he's tasting this ecstatic love. It's real. It's not made up. It's not just some thing that we hand out in order to get people to join or something. It's the real ultimate goal of our eternal existence, is to somehow or another reach a point where we have complete knowledge that Krishna is the supreme absolute truth. Complete awareness that Krishna protects us at every second. I can't mess up. I can't make a mistake. Why? Because I'm totally dependent on your lotus feet. If I make a mistake, it's because you want me to make a mistake. That's the soul and their connection with Krishna. You can't deviate. Why? Because all you know is Krishna. You don't know anyone else. Lord Chaitanya says, all I know is you. I don't know anybody else. You can break my heart. You can do whatever you want. You can leave me hang out to dry, but I don't know anybody else. That's the Vaishnava. That's Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada traveled incessantly, time and time. He came here at the very end. He was so old, his body was, and he just came and he cooked here. And he walked here. Why? Because 10,000 years from now, this Tirtha, this huge spiritual paradise, came about because the pure devotee came here. New Talavana will always grow. Why? Because Prabhupada marked it with his lotus feet. This land will never go anywhere. It'll always lie. No one's going to dare sell the land that Srila Prabhupada walked. Otherwise, who knows what could have happened, you know? People may have said, you know, like this farm and that farm, I just can't deal with it, blah, blah, blah. So by Srila Prabhupada's mercy, we're in the beginning stages. But we are going to eventually be fearless. Where we will always be willing to spread Krishna consciousness no matter what the challenge is. It's like devotees were in Middle East and they lined them up against the wall to execute them. One devotee Maharaj now, we were preaching in the Middle East. Anyway, they were going to kill him. And he said, oh, just chant Hare Krishna, that's all we can do. Just have gift time. Just Hare Krishna. Started chanting Hare Krishna. And they looked. Let them go. They were lined up against the wall. They were killing people all the time, you know. They were going to kill them if they didn't execute them. Why? Because they were chanting. They chanted Hare Krishna, Krishna protects them. It's a fact, you know, Krishna will protect us if we are, and even if something happens to our body, it's not, people sometimes get confused, oh, this devoted, it doesn't matter. The body's not the self. What really matters is that Krishna takes care of us, the soul, the self. And so we ultimately have to know that Krishna will never, as he said, declare it boldly, my devotee will never perish. And if you have that confidence, you have that enthusiasm, you ingrain that in your heart, and then you work on that level, always thinking, you know, Krishna is going to protect me, Krishna is going to give me the strength, Krishna is going to help me. I got to keep working. I got to find a way to surrender to Krishna. I got to remember Krishna. I got to chant. I got to remember Krishna. I got to be a devotee. I don't want to die and forget Krishna. I always want to remember. You just keep working. Let me help Krishna. Let me spread Krishna consciousness. Let me help the devotee. You just keep doing like that, right? And then one day, you know, it's like there's Krishna. He's looking at you, you're looking at Krishna, and you're seeing him. And you're saying, I knew you were there! Krishna's like, oh, a couple times you doubted me, you rascal. That's the way it works. It's very personal. It's very beautiful. It's very wonderful. It's very real. Krishna's so perfect. Any friendship you've ever had is nothing compared to the friendship with Krishna. Any lover you've ever had is nothing compared to the loving relationship. You don't know what love is. We forgot. When you see Krishna, you're not feeling like, oh, I wish I had this. You're just like, Krishna, you're so beautiful. He's like, I know. It took you a while to get around to figuring it out. But here you are. And thank you for coming back. Don't ever leave again, you rascal. I won't say it like that probably, but the point being is that's the mood. It will happen. We will reach that point where we will have this ecstatic reunion with that person. If we don't believe that, why are we here? Why are we joined the Hare Krishna? Why are we devotees? Isn't it? Why are we here? We are here because that's actually what we believe. That's what we convict. So we have our conviction. We have to refine it. Do we really? Is there some doubt? Yeah, that doubt's always like the demon of doubt, like Arjuna. It's always trying to come in. But the truth is, in Krishna consciousness, it's just too strong now. We're too strong. Krishna consciousness has grown too much. Now, we can't forget Krishna. You cannot. There's no way you can give it up. There's no way. You're going to be a Hare Krishna. So what can we do? We have to become very inspired Hare Krishnas. Very ecstatic lovers of Krishna. To where when you see each other, what do you feel? You remember, you remind each other of Krishna. You're always talking about Krishna. We're doing our business, we may do this or that, but everything we do is to remind each other about Krishna. 24 hours a day, right? We never give it up. And having full confidence that Krishna will help us. Thank you. Questions or comments? Srila Prabhupada ki.
Jai.